it's Michelle from the Salty Spirit. So today we're going to learn how to make a decorative mason jar. You're taking filler sand. This sometimes is done with Epsom salt. Actually, that's all I've ever found online is how to make like a snowy globe mason jar. It's always with Epsom salt, but it doesn't work well because it ends up dissolving. Salt is a natural element, so it'll dissolve, it'll dissipate, it's awful to work with. After a while, it starts breaking down. So we're going to use decorative sand, white. So using this pretty little starfish design, you can fill it with a votive candle if you want, or just leave it plain. For this, you're going to need a mason jar. You're going to need filler sand, white. Make sure it's white. Mod Podge, food coloring, can be any color. I used an aqua. The food coloring is going to be just for the starfish. And a piece of plastic, which can be, you can get these at the Dollar Tree. They're just like an in-between for files with the little tabs. They come in different colors. Doesn't matter. You're just using it to cut out, in this case, the shape of a starfish. Okay, paintbrushes. You're just going to need a big one, kind of a biggish one, and a small little guy. And what else? Jute twine and a hot glue gun. Not totally necessary, but just really any kind of glue. It's just for a small part of the project, so it's not really imperative that you use a hot glue gun. Here's a tiny little guy. Cute, cute, cute. Okay, and let's get started. Okay, so you want to make sure that your mason jar is clean. I usually just take some cotton and rubbing alcohol and just clean it off. So here's my starfish that I cut out from that plastic. You could just trace it freehand or trace it off of something. And just measure it to make sure, that it's going to fit in the middle of your mason jar. Okay, so a little hot glue just to make sure that that doesn't move as you're painting over it. So place that wherever you want it to be. Nice and flat. And then you're going to take your Mod Podge and you're going to be pretty generous with the glue all over. So first you're going to start on the starfish and just make sure it doesn't flip up, because obviously you want to keep that whole starfish shape free of glue. And we are going to speed this up now. Okay, so now we're just going to roll it into our fake sand on a nice big paper plate. Just roll it all around. Don't worry how uniform it is. Kind of looks nice when there's some areas that are a little bit heavier than others, but I'll show you how to kind of fill in those bald spots. So just roll it around, and then just kind of stick your hand in there so you don't get full of that stuff. And what I do then is I just kind of take it and sprinkle it on just to get those little spots. And then the bald spots that actually don't have enough glue, I'm going to take my little paintbrush and dab it into the glue and dab it onto those little clear spots and just re-press it in wherever you see that. Okay, so now what we're going to do, it's been drying for at least an hour. We're going to put another coat on. Really important. Now you want to take your Mod Podge and put it on a separate surface, because there will be some granules of sand each time you put on more paint or more glue. So you don't want that in your Mod Podge container. So continue doing the second coat, and again, be as generous as you can. And we'll speed this up again. All right, and just like before,
you are going to roll it in the sand, get it nice and coated, sprinkle it on, and you're going to tap it off, all the extra. Okay, so again, you're going to let that second coat dry again for around an hour. Okay, so now we're going to take a little bit of the sand and we're going to add the food coloring, very, very, very little food coloring. It's going to be just 1 drop. And again, you're still going to have so much left over, and you'll see that. So just 1 little drop onto that small amount of sand. And it actually spreads really nicely. It seems like it wouldn't, but you're just going to keep dabbing at it and dabbing, spreading it around. Make sure you get it all in there. All those little clumps you want to smash and disperse that color. It's really such a pretty color. Like so. And now we're ready to peel off that starfish. Okay, voila. So you're going to now use the glue again, and again make sure you have your glue to the side on a different in a different spot, so that you don't get the granules into the jar of Mod Podge. That would ruin it actually. So dab the glue onto the starfish space. Every little nook and cranny that you can. Again, does not have to be perfect. It kind of looks nice when it isn't. Just make sure there's a good layer there. And then for this, you're not going to roll it in, okay? You're going to sprinkle carefully put my glove on, pinch the turquoise sand and try to really place it where the starfish space is. Even though the rest of it is dry, it will still cling. So make sure you stay within those boundaries, and then just kind of make sure, and just kind of shake it off then. There you go. So, oh, there's a little spot. Okay. A little tiny bald spot, and sprinkle it in there. And that should be good. Okay. So now we're ready to add a little jute twine to the top. Again, this is where you use your hot glue gun. You can use really just any kind of glue, but of course the hot glue gun, it works so quickly, so much better. I'm just using a little dot there to start it, keep it firm. And it's up to you how much jute twine you want to use. I didn't use that much. I used maybe about 3 feet. You can use a ton of it. You can wrap and wrap and wrap to your heart's content. So just wrap it around, and then I usually add a little bit more hot glue somewhere in the middle there, just to give it a little security. Hold that in place, and then continue to wrap. Until you get to the end, and of course use another little dab of glue to keep it secure. Like so. Okay. Again, I could have kept going, but that looks cute like that. Okay, so even though it is totally dry now, you absolutely 100% have to put another coat of the Mod Podge on. Mod Podge is not only a glue, but it's like a sealant, and it gives it a little bit of a gloss. You could also get matte. This is gloss. It's not going to really make it look glossy, but it's a must because it will seal in those granules of sand. You'll still get a few pieces falling off here and there, but it really minimizes that when you put the extra layer of glue on it. And again, use a ton if you want. It's just that it's going to take some time to dry. Obviously, the more that you have. Definitely let it dry overnight before you're going to place any kind of a candle votive, or you could just, use a fake one, a fake battery operated one. Okay. And for a finishing touch, you really can put anything on it. You can put a little shell, you can make a little bow out of the same jute twine, you can use both. You can line the whole thing with shells. I mean, really, just do whatever you feel looks best for you. I'm going to do just a simple little bow. I like simple. So a little dab again, little dot of that hot glue gun, and presto. Let me actually cut those little ties there. Just a little bit. Okay. And I have a little votive candle that I'm going to place in there, and then at the last scene you'll see it lit up. I will have it set up so you can see the finished product. Thank you so much for watching.